Alright, hello everyone and welcome back to Late Night Beats. Today I'm not recording in my usual studio, which is really my living room, but out here when in the near future, if all goes well, I'm going to have a proper studio. It's of course going to be very challenging, it's going to take some time, but if all goes well, it's going to happen. So please keep your fingers crossed for me and I'll let you know more about this as soon as I can. Last year was a special year for me because it marked the release of my 10th album. I'm 41 years old, so I think releasing 10 albums at that age, it's pretty good, especially considering that music is not my full-time job. Not all of those albums were my solo projects, but I contributed significantly to each one of them, either by playing guitar, by singing harmonies, or by producing. But most importantly, I had a lot of fun making them and I'm very proud of all of them. Do they all sound great? Definitely not, but I do enjoy coming back to them once in a while. Did any of them succeed commercially? Not at all. I think the biggest song had 20,000 views on YouTube, but only because I secured a cross-promotion from one of the very popular YouTube channels in Poland. Am I a little bit bitter about this? Yeah, probably, because I thought the music was quite good and I did put a lot of heart and a lot of effort into all of them. But I guess that's the reality of our today's world. We basically have an overproduction and oversupply of music and the demand just can't keep up. So, if we're experiencing such a huge oversupply of music, then what's the point in making more? And in this video, I'd like to give you my main reasons why I think it's worthwhile to publish music regularly. Reason number one. First of all, I think each of my albums is in a way a snapshot of my own emotional maturity at a given point in time. So, in a sense, when I come back to them, when I revisit them, I have the opportunity to spend some quality time with myself in the past, which I think is interesting. So even if I'm the only person listening, it does mean something to somebody, even if that person is me. I hope that makes sense. Let's take the example of my 2023 EP called Moving, which I made from a collection of single day jams I recorded during the pandemic. It is my only album where there's absolutely no collaboration. I made everything myself except for mastering. But also during that time, I was coping with the stress of the pandemic by making a lot of self-portraits. I'm typically not graphically inclined, but I found it very, very helpful and sort of therapeutic to draw those self-portraits. And what's interesting is that the titles I spontaneously gave to the jams were corresponding quite well with the themes of the portraits. So altogether, it made quite a coherent story, at least for me. So now when I revisit the album, I have a very unique insight into my own state of mind 5 years ago, which is interesting and introspective, but also quite inspiring, I would say. You might ask yourself, if I'm the only person listening to those albums, wouldn't it be better just to put them on Dropbox and listen from there? I would disagree, because in order to publish an album, it has to be finished. So by that token, each project not only corresponds to my own emotional state, but also to my level of artistic maturity and my skill level at a certain point in time. Which means that by looking back at those albums, I can look at my own artistic growth and experience that journey. And even if those albums are not perfectly mature or perfectly composed in artistic terms, at least I know that at that point I did my best. You might say that it's a little cringe to listen to your own music, but I don't really care. I enjoy revisiting those albums from time to time. You probably don't know this about myself, but I'm a huge fan of Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice, a video game by From Software. I consider beating it at the ripe age of 39 a big personal achievement. And over the years, I've seen a lot of video essays here on YouTube discussing the alleged benefits of persevering through hardship that From Software games offer to you. They posit that by persevering through the hardships in the game in a very controlled environment, you prepare yourself to deal with the hardships of everyday world. I'm not sure if there's any merit to it, but if there is, then making and finishing and then releasing an album could also have similar benefits. I personally feel like committing to releasing an album teaches me to work consistently towards a goal and get it done. Speaking about lessons learned, I think that each project, and especially their collaborative aspects, taught me a lot about working with people and a lot about myself. Let's take 2 albums that I released with singers as an example. In the first one, regrettably, I was being a horrible collaborator, to be honest with you. I was being toxic, I was being insecure, and I was trying to clearly delineate the role of a producer from the role of a singer. I was essentially being a territorial prick, which I regret very much. So when about 8 years later an opportunity presented itself to record another album with a different singer, I was really paying attention to do better. I was making sure that I'm giving my partner enough opportunities to contribute and giving them enough space to also realize their own ideas. And also considering that they were the primary songwriter in there, I was working really hard not to impose my own production ideas on those songs and make sure that there's enough space for them to develop in the way that the author intended. It wasn't easy, but I think I succeeded, and it made me a better musician, a better collaborator, and a better human being, to be honest with you. So those are my own personal reasons for making music, and I hope I'm going to continue doing so in the future. And if you're interested in listening to any of the projects that I mentioned, I'm going to link them in the description. Thank you for listening, and take care.